Hello, friends. Daniel here. So today's subject is near and dear to my heart. I honestly could talk about it for days. I'm going to spare you that unless you want it. Today's subject is how tech companies can use digital marketing to secure venture capital in 2020. It's huge, right? So a lot of tech companies rely on venture capital for growth. A lot of tech companies begin or are founded with some sort of venture capital. Now, I've gone through this process 4 times. If your experience differs from mine, I want to hear about it in the comments. Post what happened to you in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. What I've been through is fairly routine, whereby they want to see a couple of items. Now, rather than talk for days, I'm going to leave you with a couple gold nuggets, and you can take them and run. You can follow up with me and ask additional questions. I'm here for you as a resource. You just let me know. First and foremost, they're going to want a strategy. So have a strategy from a marketing perspective ready. Here's what your strategy needs to have. Your strategy should very clearly articulate, exquisitely clearly articulate who you're targeting and why you're targeting them and how your app or service or whatever helps them. What's the solution that it solves and why are you the ideal solution for that problem set? Very clearly articulate that. All right. Understand your end user as best you can. Okay. Next, understand where they are open to hearing your messaging and write that out in your strategy document. If it's LinkedIn, cool. If it's Instagram, cool. If it's Spotify, Pandora, if it's TikTok, cool. I want that called out, and I would want you to call that out. Next, I want to understand how much exposure the application, the brand, whatever, needs to result in number of end users, right? So we're talking rolling throughput yield, rolled throughput yield. Google it if you haven't already, but it's pretty cool. It comes from manufacturing, and it's an understanding of how many defects result in each step in a process. If you're making crayons or t-shirts, it works all day long. However, it applies very much to digital marketing. It applies very much to marketing in general. There's funnels, and at each step in the funnel, we have the option or opportunity of a defect. Now, what I want your strategy to tell me very clearly is what the rolling throughput yield of each step in that funnel needs to be to result in number of users, right? So if you had 10,000 people exposed to your messaging, how many do you expect to show up as an end user? And is that free or is that paid, or is there a conversion from free to paid? And what does that look like? And does this justify the cost of that end exposure at the top of the funnel? And I want you to lay that out in your strategy very, very, very clearly. I want to know I have to send 1,000 emails a week and reach 10,000 impressions on Instagram in order to result in 15 new users or 100 new users, 35 of which will hypothetically convert to a paid user over a 9-month period. I want you to lay that out. That will be the plan by which you execute all of your other campaigns. So if you need 1,000 emails to be successful, cool. Now we can move forward. I want you to lay that out in your strategy. So that's my tip. Lay out all of those things. Now build a plan week over week over week of what you need to achieve in order to reach those numbers. And then you can establish campaigns that meet your high level, grow the brand, secure the market, stuff like that. Your high level boardroom bullet points after that. So lay out your plan, and then I want milestones along the way that you then report on. So I want what you expected, and I want what the result was, and I want to know what the deviation is. And then another part, and here's tip 2, I want a risk register of what you intend to do when these deviations happen. So if you expected 100 people to go up to your website as a result of an email campaign and 150 people went to the website as a result of the email campaign, I want to know why, and I want to know what you're going to do about it to affect that and make it as impactful as possible. That's a risk, right? So there's 2 types of risks. There's opportunities and there's threats. And in this case, it's an opportunity. So what are you going to do with that extra 50 people? And I want to know that, and I want to call that in your strategy. Equally, risk. 100 people got the message, 1 person showed up, and you're expecting 15. I want to know where those 14 people are going to come from. I want to know what your backup plan is, and I want you prepared with a backup plan so that you don't have to sit on your hands or twiddle your thumbs while you come up with something else. So that's the next tip. Where this risk register needs to address and quantify and qualify your opportunities and your threats. And I want that in a way that it could be called upon at a moment's notice. So when you go to VC, here's what you will present as a result of what I've suggested here in this video. A strategy that's exceptionally well laid out and organized, that clearly defines the problem and the user and how your marketing will enable your brand to be exposed to that user in a way that very clearly articulates how it will solve the problem. And I want milestones along the way with quantifiable numbers each week to understand what you intend to do, what you intend the result to be, and what you're going to change should things happen. Okay. So you're going to be a lot more effective when you go in front of VC because of this. They don't want their money to go to waste. I don't want your money to go to waste. You don't want your money to go to waste either, I'm sure. So this is what it does. It puts control measures in place to make sure that you are effective and safe and operating within guidelines that everyone's in agreement to ahead of time. That's really what everyone's looking for. It's not so much that they want to win. Everyone wants to win, but also everyone thinks they're going to win. I want a description of what winning looks like in a quantifiable way. And I want a plan that backs us into that winning position in a way that I can make sure that we're successful at each step in the phase. All right. So those are the tips. Now, again, this is a huge subject, and we could really go into some hardcore detail about it. If you would like to go into hardcore detail, visit josephstudios.net/community. Post your questions in there. I'll be more than happy to answer them. The rest of the team will be more than happy to answer them as well. If you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation, hit me up. It's all good. And otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Absolutely crush it. I hope everyone tells you yes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.